Shalom. All praises and glory and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers that are teaching the truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. We're here to teach the truth and sincerity through the prophecy, the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which is the spirit of prophecy. We're about to jump into an article and a couple of more scriptures just to build a point to edify the elect. Brothers want to open up with a scripture before the article?
Well, now, we'll go ahead and bring the article out first and then we'll build upon that point.
Come.
All right. Quick article from RT from today, from the 6th. I was actually from a couple days ago, Salaki. But the title of the article is Trump wants allies to commit more blood and treasure to fighting terrorism. And just to pull a couple points from that, the 11-page document reviewed by the news agency is meant to replace its predecessor, which was produced by the Obama administration shortly after U.S. troops killed terrorist leader Osama bin Laden in 2011. This is a quote from it. "We need to intensify operations against global jihadist groups while also reducing the cost of American blood and treasure in pursuit of our counterterrorism goals."
Right. It's like read that headline again.
What, the title or?
Yeah, the comment. Yeah, the title.
Trump wants allies to commit more blood and treasure to fighting terrorism.
All right, so basically what it's saying there is Trump basically wants to put more emphasis on destroying the terrorists. Okay, Trump wants to basically, well, matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, when it came time to renew the budget for the year, Trump made a whole bunch of budget cuts on certain operations here in America, certain departments, and pushing more money into the military. So now, based off of that headline and based off of the article, Trump wants to push more firepower into taking down extremists and terrorists using the military. Okay? So read that title once again one more time.
Trump wants allies to commit more blood and treasure to fighting terrorism.
Right, so he wants his, so not only is it a thing of America, but America's allies. Such as all of the countries in NATO. You got France, Germany, the UK, okay, Israel. All right, all these other countries, Trump wants to get them in on the fight, so to speak. Let us stop these different jihadists and different extremists to basically further the so-called destruction of terrorists worldwide. You just had the attacks in France about a month ago, a couple weeks ago, and they're clamping down on that. You got martial law in the streets in France, in Paris. Okay, they're putting the travelers on high alert. Okay, you got the travel ban that Trump put up. Okay, so things is rolling, but what that's really doing is what they're doing is that's really trying to set up the New World Order to make a worldwide police state. That's what it's doing. It's not just here in America. It's not just in Europe. It's not just in Asia or the Middle East or in Africa. It's a worldwide global agenda. Okay, starting with the elites is their global agenda to push their so-called New World Order. Okay. And like Trump, you mentioned about the different militaries. What they're going to do is that's going to send the military from America, whether it's the Army or the Navy, have them patrol the seas, put ground troops in certain countries. That's going to move them. Further out of the country. Okay. So I got a precept real quick. to make that point, and then we can jump back in the article and get that precept you had. But I'm gonna pull this first. This is Joel chapter 2 and 20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army." Now, dealing with the American military, you have something called NORTHCOM, which is short for Northern Command. You got something called AFRICOM, which is African Command, okay? Which basically is parts of the, I believe you got SOUTHCOM, right? You got SOUTHCOM, which is Southern Command, which NORTHCOM or Northern Command is dealing with North America and the command that America has over the military, which the top general right now is Mad Dog Mattis, okay, was Trump personally appointed, which contrary to what the laws say, because he hasn't been active in the military in the past 7 years, Trump bypassed that and put this guy Mad Dog Mattis over as I believe it's Secretary General. Okay, if I'm correct, I could be wrong, but I believe it's Secretary General. He's over the military. Matter of fact, he was over the command in the Middle East during his tenure in the military. So he is an experienced general. Okay, so you got these different particular sections of the American military worldwide over different regions and different continents around the world. Okay, so the Most High said He's going to move far off from us the Northern Army. He's going to move the military out further out and spread them out all over the world. Okay, which that includes a draft coming. We're going to have a draft. Okay, the draft for this upcoming Third World War that people are speaking about, that's trending, that's going to come upon the earth. Okay, that's going to come. All right, and that's going and the main place that draft is going to take place is right here in Babylon the Great in America. Okay, so I'm going to continue reading. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea." Right now, so the Most High is saying is once this American army and his allies are moved out, okay, out of their respective countries, mainly America, they're going to move into a land that's barren and desolate on the planet Earth. Now, geographically, that would be Saudi Arabia and its deserts, okay, which you would have towards the East Sea, which be the Persian Gulf. Now, around the Persian Gulf, you got America setting up its bases, putting forces and troops around Iran. Same thing with Russia backing Iran up, China backing Iran up. They're pushing their military forces out there, their air forces out there, okay. You got the navies patrolling the Persian Gulf and the different seas, okay? And then they mentioned the utmost sea, or the hindermost sea, which would be the Red Sea, okay? Between Egypt, Africa, okay, Eastern Africa, mainly Egypt. You got Yemen, okay? You got the UAE, United Arab Emirates out there, okay? You got the Saudi Arabia itself. You got Turkey. You got Israel, you got Jordan. So everything, you got Syria, right? So all these different countries that you're seeing being named and popping up in the news dealing with war, the Most High is gathering all those armies together in that region, okay? And this article that the brother's bringing out, that's attesting to that, okay? I'm going to continue reading a little bit more. It says, "And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things." Because the Most High is going to judge Babylon the Great, starting with his mighty men, the military, by destroying them in the Third World War over there in the Middle East. So when you got these different family members and these people you know and all these troops and all these pray for the troops and support our troop banners and all of that, once they go over there to fight this Third World War, they're not coming home. Same thing with this draft. They're not coming home. Okay? Once they're sitting over there, that's it. Because the Most High said his ill savor has come up and his stink shall be over there. Because you're going to have dead bodies scattered across that whole barren wasteland over there, that desert over there, okay, in the Middle East. And that's the Third World War. And that's what, like I said, that's what this article is attesting to.
Yeah.
All right. Brother said he had some precepts?
Yeah, I have.
All right, come on, go ahead.
This is Joel chapter 3,
Yep.
verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people.
Right, and that's really the main point. The Most High is gathering all these different nations over there in that region, in that area, okay? So he can judge these nations, the heathen nations, Esau, Ishmael, Elam, which are the so-called white man and his people, okay? The so-called Arabs and their people, okay? The so-called Iranians, Indians, East Indians and all their people, okay, for what they've done against the children of Israel. Because if you go back in history, not too long ago, the so-called blacks in America, they came over here in slave ship. There was a slavery underneath these people. They traded us back and forth. Same thing with the Native Americans and the so-called Hispanics. Okay, on this side of the world, we was all in slavery. But we're the Israelites. We're the Most High's people. So the Most High is saying he's going to judge them there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which the Most High's name is Yahweh, okay? And Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, which means the Most High's judgment or Yahweh's judgment. The Most High's going to make his judgment there in that land out there, okay? That's what's going to happen. The Most High's going to gather these armies together to fight in this Third World War, and the Most High is going to show his power through the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots. Yahweh Shai is going to return and to destroy these armies.
And that goes to show, it's like, that goes to show that Esau's in the trick bag, because he's thinking that he's initiating this war to gain more riches and to really have his new world order and perfection, according to the Georgia Guidestones, having most of the population destroyed.
That's right.
But the Most High, like he said in Job 20, he think when he fill his belly, he gonna throw all that up, man. The Lord hates Esau, man. The Lord ain't gonna allow this devil to gain these riches from this war, like he did with Napoleon, like he did with other wars, financing both sides of the spectrum and gaining the most from killing people off to get for his theory. The Lord is gonna tear him down. Thus said the Lord through these prophecies. Reading on, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Right. Now you have a big thing dealing with these so-called Jews, which are the Amalekites in the Bible, okay? They've parted the land of Israel. Okay, amongst, you got the Christian quarter in Jerusalem, got the Muslim quarter in Jerusalem, got the Jewish quarter in Jerusalem. Then you got Jordan split, you got Damascus, you got Israel, you got Gaza. They split the land, and then the people that was over there, which really, so-called Palestinians, they don't belong there neither. Okay, the Palestinians don't belong there. Okay, the so-called Jewish people, they don't belong there. Okay, the people that's in the land now, they really don't belong there, pursuant to Revelation 11 chapter. It says Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles for a certain amount of time. So them Gentiles are over there and they don't belong there. Okay? Although it's fulfilling prophecy, okay, they have to be removed. Okay? But like the brother just read, they have parted the Most High's land. That's part. They split the land up in different quarters and different places because Esau has a strategy that he's trying to use to get up in there, or Amalek has a strategy to get up in there. Okay, because over the years from its inception, okay, slowly but surely, the so-called Jews have been taking land from the Palestinians that have been there. Okay? Whether it's war, you had the 6 Years War. Okay? Matter of fact, America pulls billions of dollars each year into Israel, the state of Israel. Okay? Via that so-called tragedy, the Holocaust. Okay? Which was created to be a source of sympathy for those people, as if they were the Most High's people, but they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not children of the Most High. Okay? But so the Most High said, all these people he's going to gather together, all these heathen, these natural Gentiles, he's going to gather them together in the valley of Jehoshaphat to judge them there. Okay? Because they parted the land. Alright? Was it something else? Was it more?
Now to your point about the Most High gathering troops from all nations and nations outside of just the United States. This was a release excerpt of the article that I was talking about, or document. This is a quote from it. "We will seek to avoid costly, large-scale U.S. military interventions to achieve counterterrorism objectives, and will increasingly look to partners to share the responsibility for countering terrorist groups."
Right, now who made that quote?
Well, this is from a document released by the Trump administration, or put forth by the Trump administration. It's not released yet. They only released certain parts of it. It's supposed to be fully released in the next few months.
Okay, so read that one more time.
"We will seek to avoid costly, large-scale U.S. interventions to achieve counterterrorism objectives, and will increasingly look to partners to share the responsibility for countering terrorist groups."
Right, so basically what the Trump administration is saying there, via the quote, is that we're not just going to send our U.S. troops over there to get them killed. We're going to seek into our allies to help us out. Okay? To send them over there in that area to help us out to stop these terrorists. Okay? Which all that is doing is that's further pushing the agenda for this Third World War. That's prophecy. These things must happen. So when you hear and you see these different things day to day on the news, because it's because it talks about rumor upon rumor, rumors of wars, rumor year by year. Okay? These things are leading to a particular climax in the Most High story, so to speak. Because it's going to be an ultimate judgment on the planet Earth. Okay? These people have to be judged. The so-called white man has been destroying the earth for centuries. Okay? Since his rebirth or his renaissance, he's been blaspheming the name of the Most High, blaspheming his image, blaspheming his people, okay? Pushing wickedness upon the earth. And here it is, he's like the brother mentioned, Kabash mentioned, that when he thinks he's going to establish a new order, or thinks he's getting ready to fill his belly, that's when the Most High is going to strike. And that's what this is leading to. Okay? This is leading to the really the ultimate judgment of the so-called white man and all his wickedness that he's been perpetuating on the earth. From the chemtrails to the fluoride in the water to destroying the world's oceans and the animals beaching themselves to the propaganda and witchcraft that he pushes through the media upon the people to seducing the Israelites into surpassing the deeds of the wicked. Okay? The Most High talks about touching the apple of his eye, and that's his people Israel. So these people got to be judged for that, you know? And that's what's happening. The more you see Trump say this and do more strikes in these countries, they do their nuclear tests and all of that, that's more justification for Yahweh Shem Shai to make his move upon them. Okay? Upon the heathen. Okay? And the Most High surely in the fire of his jealousy and his indignation as he's speaking against the residue of the heathen and Idumea. Okay? So the Most High is going to destroy Edom, man. He's going to destroy the Edomites, the Amalekites, the Moabites, the Ishmaelites, okay, the Ammonites, the Hamites, Okay, all these other nations, they're going to be judged by Yahweh Shah to destroy them. Okay, but I want to get a little bit more for that article. I know that was the basis for the lesson. Was there any more meat to get out of that?
I think that was probably the meat of it. I don't know if there's one more part about NATO in there, but there was one more point to pull out of it.
Okay.
Article reads, so far the Trump administration has boosted America's military presence in places like Somalia, Iraq, and Syria, and is reportedly planning to reverse Obama's pullout from Afghanistan.
Right. Because Obama is during his 2 terms, he spoke about pulling the troops out. But then when he came in, he had sent like 3,000 troops in. Okay? So now Trump is like, you know what, forget all that pulling out stuff. We want to send these troops in, whether like he said, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq, which Trump talked about going into Iraq. Okay? They want to send more boots on the ground. Okay? You already sent them 50, 60 Tomahawk missiles over to Syria and struck them, as the news said. Okay? So, Trump is about bringing war on the earth. Okay? If a brother can give me one scripture, give me Revelation 6 and start at 1. It's real quick because Trump, as the king Edomite on the earth right now, he's pushing the elite Edomite's agenda, which according to prophecy is pushing that war upon the earth to take peace from the earth. That's what Esau is doing. Okay, go ahead, brother.
Okay. Revelation 6 and 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Verse 3, and when he had opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Right, that's what Esau's doing. The red man, Esau, the Edomite, they're taking peace from the earth. They're going forth, they're conquering. And that was Esau's blessing. When you read Genesis, he was given power to take over the earth via the sword. So when you bring a sword, if for example, Esau says we're going to bring democracy to your country, but he drops bombs on the different civilians there, is that war or peace? That's war. So he's taking peace away. So that's that prophecy there. Keep going, huh?
And that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword.
That's Esau. Okay? They should kill one another. Okay, it's like it. They want to kill one another. That's why you have World War I, World War II, and now we're getting ready to have World War III take place. Okay, the climax of it. Okay, and it was given to him a great sword. That's Esau's blessing, that great sword. Yeah, nuclear missiles.
He's estranged from the womb, man. It's like Job chapter 9, verse 24. Earth was given into the hand of the wicked.
That's right.
And with that blessing that he got from Isaac, which he ruled him by the force of the sword, that goes to show that he's bringing evils on the earth by the way of that sword.
That's right.
Because he's not righteous. The only way he can rule is by wickedness.
That's right. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And when he had opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
Right, that's what, so Esau brings death upon the earth, man. Okay? That's what it's bringing, death. Because these are the final judgments. We're living in the final judgments, man. And the final prophecies, man. World War III, the microchip, which is the mark of the beast. That's the time we're living in. So be mindful. We bring out this information for edification, for you to be mindful that day by day, as you see these different news articles and different reports and things come about, you hear about them, be mindful that this is the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay? And you must put them through the scriptures to understand the times we're living in. Okay? Was that in that verse?
It's a little bit more in that verse.
Go ahead.
And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
Right. And that's what Esau is doing within his power to try to establish his new world order. Okay? So as the Trump administration continues to push for more troops here, to stop the terrorists here, through the propaganda and all that, that's really fulfilling the scriptures. Okay? And that's another step closer for us getting our salvation and to see the return of Yahweh Shai. Okay? What's something you have, brother?
Revelation chapter 12, verse 12.
Well, come in on that.
Alright, come. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
Right, break it down.
And that's going into what Trump is doing now. He's just enforcing his troops over there in these various places over there in the Mediterranean Sea, over there in the east, mainly. And he's turning back what Obama had declared, like bringing home the troops. He's like, fuck that. It's like it for my French. But they stand over there because it's all a business. Esau's about business. He's not about peace. His business is the business of Satan, and our business is the business of the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
And he's trying to conquer that. He's trying to have that victory. But little do he know, like it says in Deuteronomy, according to Moses, that if they were only wise, they would consider their latter end. And this right here is considering their latter end according to the righteous, that they're going to be put in the chains and they're going to be destroyed by the Most High. And like going back to the scripture, like he told me, Satan know that he has but a short time. Look what we doing right now. Our ancestors was in chains. Now it came to a point now we ain't in chains. The Most High is raising us up and mocking our so-called slave masters, man.
And we're prophesying and telling him his end. That he's going to the chains of slavery.
That's a mighty act, man. That's a mighty move, man. It has to be a greater power than Esau on the earth, man.
That's right. That's right. So trust in Yahweh Bashem Shai. I guess that was it. You wanna?
I'm bring out a little bit in Matthew 24, because one thing too, our people, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you got to realize too that the whole world's getting judged. Esau's gonna get what's coming to him, but also what does World War III mean? It means that Yahushua's gonna be returning, man. Don't lose sight of the fact that the Lord and Savior is going to return in the midst of all this to save His people. But in Matthew 24, the disciples, they were asking Yahushua, when is He going to come back? In verse 3, I'll just read it. And as He sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto Him privately, saying, Salakia, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? I'm going to hop down to verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. World War III, people a lot of times think about World War III, knowing in the back of their mind there's nuclear bombs, ICBMs, electronic weaponry, you know, and they just think, oh, I'm just gonna blow up, that's gonna be it. Nah, man, that's the rumors of war is just the beginning. There's a lot that has to happen, you know, while the war is going on, and at the conclusion of the war as well.
Well, the conclusion of World War III is the Israelites are gonna. Well, during World War III, the Israelites are going to be delivered the elect, and then in the conclusion, when the dust settles, the Israelites are going to come back down out of the chariots to put the rest of the nation in slavery, and it's going to be happily ever after, as they say, because the Israelites are going to be in power, because the so-called white man's power structure is going to be totally destroyed. He's not going to have a leg to stand on. All right.